only calm shells or metal discs or scraps of paper. And there are treasures of heart and soul which money cannot buy. But most people, being broke, are unable to keep this in mind and sustain their spirits. When a man is down and out and on the street, unable to get any job at all, something happens to his spirit which can be observed in the droop. In the droop of his shoulders, the set of his hat, his walk, his gaze. He cannot escape a feeling of inferiority among the people with regular employment, even though he knows they are definitely not his equals in character, intelligence, or ability. These people, even his friends, feel on the other hand a sense of superiority and regard him perhaps unconsciously as a casualty. He may borrow for a time, but not enough to carry on and his accustomed way, and he cannot continue to borrow very long. But borrowing in itself, when a man is borrowing merely to live, is a depressing experience. And the money lacks the power of earned money to revive his spirits. Of course, none of this applies to the burns of habitual never-do-wells, but only to the men of normal ambitions and self-respect. Well, this is what we've been talking about, those people who lacked money, who had the fear of poverty, and how do the other people around them consider them. Now we talk about the women. The women conceal despair. When it comes to women, we're going to have a contrast with those of the men. The women conceal despair. Women in the same predicament must be different. We somehow do not think of women at all in considering down and outers. They are scarce in the breadlines. They are rarely seen begging on the street. They are not recognizable in crowds by the same plain signs which identify busted men. Of course, I do not mean the shuffling hags of the city. I'm not talking about the shuffling hags of the city streets who are opposite the number of confirmed male burns. I mean reasonably young, decent, intelligent women. There must be many of them, but their despair is not apparent. Maybe they kill themselves. When a man is down and out, he has time on his hands for brooding. He may travel miles to see a man about the job and discover that the job is filled, or that it is one of those jobs with no basic pay, but only a commission on the sale of some useless knick-knack, which nobody would buy except out of pity. Turning that down, he finds himself back on the street with nowhere to go but just to go anywhere. So he walks and walks. He gazes into the store windows, that of the luxuries which are not for him, and he feels inferior and gives way to the people who stop to look